Well, I guess we got the early season dramatic game out of the way early, so I don't know if I can handle 28 more or 29 more in the regular season, but it kind of lets you know we're in it. And I mean, there's a lot to digest here tonight. At the end of the day, our guys found a way to win, and I thought we were really resilient when we needed to be. Like I told them in there, it's hard to win. It's hard to win games. I think I saw the score, but before I went out on the court, I saw Grambling State and Ole Miss was like a 2-point game with 18 seconds to go. It's hard, right, to win. And they came out and they played like a 1-1-3 matchup zone that they had not shown at all. Didn't practice, didn't prepare for it. I thought it really stymied us, just kind of took us out of rhythm. I thought then that kind of affected our defense a little bit for a stretch there in the first half. Came out in the second half, had a lot of energy, forced turnovers, but we just couldn't pull away and sustain. And give that team a lot of credit too, man. But we survived foul trouble. We survived a crazy shot in regulation to send it to overtime. And you know what? We made our free throws down the stretch. And obviously, Niko and Jalen were great. I think Kyle Jorgensen, when, Crocker, Johnson, Jalen fouled out, Rashawn, re-injured himself, couldn't go back in the game. And I thought that freshman showed a lot of you-know-what down the stretch to help us win the game.
You have the Apple Watch on if you had to guess what you keep your heart rate like that.
I've been doing this for a little while. You know what I mean? I tried to, just stay calm. And I don't know, for whatever reason, like I'd watch these guys on film and I'd talk to them, and I knew they had talent, and I knew they would be aggressive. And, like, I didn't walk into this game at all. I knew we'd be in for a fight. And so but I think we'll look at this game. I think we'll learn a lot from it. I think there's a lot to learn from this game, and it's fun to be able to learn with a win.
You've talked a lot about Kyle kind of the lead into the season. Can you talk a little bit more about just what you were seeing from him? Obviously, when he kind of got the hook there late, he'd have to turn over and foul, but had to come back in. Like, what were you seeing from him that?
Well, I think it's important to remember this is the first close college basketball game he's ever played in. I mean, like, Cayenne he played last year, but, who was in the end in the close games, And so him experiencing those things, just kind of having to make decisions with the ball in your hands and all that stuff, he'll grow a ton from it. He really will. And I'm sure he was disappointed at some of the turnovers and critical situations and stuff, but I believe in that guy. And sometimes you just got to get that kind of experience to go through it. I thought Bowen, for not playing there for a stretch, came in down there, knocked down some huge free throws for us. And again, Cayenne would just maybe looked a little jittery there for a second, but I believe in that guy. He's going to learn a lot from this.
Missed some free throws, but went 9 and 10 when it counted in overtime. I guess, how encouraging was it that they were able to respond like that?
Huge. I mean, it kind of looked again like early we missed a couple, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because, contrary to what people think, we do practice shooting free throws. But we did. I agree with you. When the game was on the line and we got into a rhythm, we knocked down those free throws we had to have just to keep him at arm's length to get the win.
He said he was great. Second straight double-double, first 30-point game of Niko Clifford's career. What can you say about what he did today?
I mean, just willed us to win. I mean, we played him. What did he play? 42 minutes tonight. Was unreal. I mean, just what he did on the glass, making shots and plays when we needed him to. He was awesome, and Jalen Lake was right there with him. Again, the two guys, old souls in our program who've been here and have been in these games, right, in these situations before. I thought those guys just willed us to victory.
Seemed like I think he gave Jorgensen a little talk after late in the second half there. Are you seeing him be a little more comfortable in those roles of, like, when he needs to have a chat with the guy?
Absolutely. Like, he kind of brings, I've always laughed with Niko. He's so funny. Like, he's obviously, you guys know him, but I mean, he's just an unbelievable human being. When you're around him, it just brightens up your day, and he kind of does that for everybody. But I just think he does a great job of bringing encouragement to guys, just not letting them get down on themselves, and I think he does that for the team. Heck, he doesn't get down on himself. I mean, he'd go kick it in the 10th row, whatever, and he'll have a turn or whatever, and he just comes back and tries to make the next play. But I think he really does a great job of building confidence in these other guys, and Yeah, I mean, I thought Jorgensen came up huge for us right down the stretch, and again, for a freshman to be in that situation, man, you're only gonna get better from it.
Is Niko better in-game dunker than Roddy?
Ooh. That's close. I'd still say, I don't know, the best one that we had was probably the one at was it the one at Air Force that Roddy had? But yeah, I mean, that one tonight too by Neek was pretty good. And I got to laugh. I think Kyle tried to get his name on the list, and he got said, "Welcome to the big time, buddy." Like, yeah.
Probably too early to say a ton, but any concern as far as Rashawn and his injury situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's something he's been battling all summer, and he worked his way back, and I thought played pretty well on Monday, and he kind of started aggravating him again, yesterday, and he wanted to give it a go, and he just wasn't able to do it. So, hopefully we've got a plan to get it calmed down, and we really missed him tonight, with the physicality that they had in there, and when Jalen Croc got in foul trouble right away, and then we went, Kyle, we needed a little bit more of a physical presence in there, and so we'll see. But I don't know, but he's a guy that's a big part of what we're doing.
After a guy hits a crazy shot, it's easy for us to sit there and say,
should I have fouled? Yeah.
What's kind of the view on
Yeah,
that?
it's funny. I kicked myself. I've been doing this a long. You look at the percentages in college hoops, and it's the same whether you foul or don't. So some people, they foul, and I in hindsight, when I haven't seen the replay, but I heard it was just wild. Just a wild shot. So, I think if you're going to foul, you want to do it under 7, right about 6 is probably the right time. I think we were bringing it full court with 11 to go, and I'm like, okay, you don't want to foul somebody getting in their shooting motion if they're bust flying up, but the play kind of happened slow, and we probably could have, right, went out and fouled them. But we told them just to be in three-point field goal defense there. Hindsight, yeah, I mean, Neek probably could have hit that kid right up there and put him on the line. Then we got to still get we still got to get the free throw rebound, you know what I mean, and do that. Thought we played pretty good defense, and kid made a shot. So in that situation, if I had to do it all over again, yeah, I would have fouled him, but we won.
We talked a little bit about Ethan Wharton, who, box score looks underwhelming, but he had 2 very crucial forced turnovers late in the game that I think you guys were up 1 point on both of those. And we talked a little bit about last time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, he really picked up his energy defensively. He wasn't the same in the first half, I don't think, and he'd be the first to say that. But I thought in the second half, his minutes, he really, picked up his juice and he's got incredible hands, and he's a great, perimeter defender. And I think he's going to continue to find his way in our offense too. But yeah, I mean, listen, we needed all those plays tonight to win, and probably the biggest bright spot we had too as a team is we did force 21 turnovers again. So our defense was active, but we allowed them to score way too easy in the paint tonight. And then they got comfortable down the end. Then they started making some shots, and they made some tough shots too. But that's what happens when you don't take care of business earlier.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Niko.
Yep.